Well, I think it would be more than fair to say that this festive period has gone pretty swimmingly at Southend United, bar one trip up in the Carabao Cup, which still frustrates me, as you can tell. We picked up excellent results and some decent performances against poorer opposition since the last episode. Today we're back in the middle of a dead quiet January transfer window, and we've got two of the big six to play. It's Tottenham Hotspur and it's Liverpool, and if these results go right, we could start running away with it. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 106 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today in the midst of a busy festive period, as is always the case when it comes to winter football in the UK. However, we have got two big games in the Premier League, and as you can see from the top of the table, if we can get a result against Liverpool in this one, we might well be out of sight. We face Tottenham beforehand, we've got to make sure we do the job in what has been a very workmanlike festive period for us. We've been picking up results, we've been picking up clean sheets, and while we haven't played brilliantly for the most part, we're doing enough, and that's all that matters. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can do enough today, as I wouldn't expect many fireworks from the transfer window, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We've got two Champions League games to follow, but I don't think we've got to worry about them too much, because in truth, we're pretty much through in that already, so we can go all out in these two games, 4 days separating them, and we managed to rest most people against Wolves, which helped us out. Let's go and have a look though at the schedule to see what has been going on, because you were with me for the two brilliant wins against Chelsea and City. We've done really well in recent months, haven't we? I mean, when did we last not win a Premier League game? Would have been Arsenal back in October, and even then we bounced back in the Carabao, didn't we? So it's a really important spell for us. We've got to keep picking up results. And as you can see, it's a case again of 2-1s, 1-0s, 2-0s. You saw those two games on camera, but since then, we rotated everyone against Swansea. Even the likes of Harrison Parker got a game. Even the likes of Casey Worcester and John Nussum got on the pitch. And we won 1-0. Teddy Ivanov did the job. And it was a comfortable enough win despite injuries. A 3-0 followed against Hull, the game since the last episode where our first 11 played. And you can see it was a very confident performance. 2 goals from Dion Kranic, 1 from Rakowski, who backed up his first of the season against Chelsea pretty quickly. A really comfortable win. And then against Wolves last time, we rested everyone. Yes, Ivo Torres got injured, not ideal. Jude Sadler had a good game when we needed him to. And Teddy Ivanov got a couple of goals. But again, it's the fact that we're able to bring people like Parker, Worcester, Takat Zuka in and give complete rest to some of the key players in the squad. That's been a feature of our recent weeks, the way we've juggled the squad this year. I feel I'm better coping with it than last season. I'm finding the right games to bring in those players who aren't good enough for the top matches. And it leaves us in a good position going into these two. What isn't quite so good is our FA Cup draw, because after getting through in the third round, we're facing Arsenal away. I don't hold up much hope for that. I think we might let it go this year, especially if we're comfortably clear in the Premier League and focus on the ones at the end of February, when there's a Premier League title on the line, or as I should say, a Premier Division title for the last time in Football Manager. Let's move on though to the fixtures and go straight into the first game, because this is a big weekend. Over the next 2 games, we've got to play Liverpool and we've got to beat the results of Arsenal. If we do that, we're going to have a really healthy lead going into the final third or so of the season. Arsenal are away at mid-table West Ham. Not the easiest game on paper, nor is ours. United are finding form, but it's probably too late. I'm not sure we'll even drop another 15 points, but either way, they're going to Everton. No easy game for them. Let's go and get through our tactical meeting though and see how many of our boys are fit. We're going to have a look at a team that played last time, because it was fairly weakened. It was fairly rotated, as you can see there. Not many of our first 11, and still no goals for Ashley Carr. But we are going to make the changes recommended. We're going to adjust the 11 to meet us. Tottenham, though, have signed some world-class players. A couple of years ago, they added the likes of Shaquille Van Persie, but this season, they've gone up another level. Pashaj is a striker that we tried to sign, but is a striker who is world-class. He is only 21 or 22. He's a Dutch international. He's elite. There's no doubt in that. He scored 12 in 18. He's got assists galore. He's scoring goals for the Netherlands. He's a proper striker. And he's 6'2" as well. He's got the lot, that boy. He's someone we've got to watch out for. For now, though, we've got a team to pick, so let's go through and make the adjustments needed. We'll be back in a couple of seconds' time to run through our first 11. Well, here is the 11 that I've opted for against Spurs, and there are a couple of concerns in one area of the pitch. Both Ivo Torres and Kivrakidis have got knocked, so won't be able to feature today. We're also missing Robertson from that midfield too. But then I've also had to drop out Bernberg, who had to play at the weekend because of those injuries, and now he's struggling a little bit. So he's going to be on the bench because for me, the Liverpool game's more important, and in the midfield area, it's the tougher one. But you look at the development of someone like Rakowski, and maybe you don't worry quite as much. He is in his third choice position, but he's 4-star ability. He's genuinely world class. If we were playing with like inverted fullbacks, he'd be an absolute machine. But either way, even at centre half and in centre midfield, we've got a top class player now at 20. Let's have a look though at the rest of the team because it's pretty much first choice with Jude Sadler in goal, Memic and De Angelis the fullbacks, and Herbert alongside Sanchez as centre half. Yocolano and Adamson are 2 out wide. Rakowski is joined by Jimenez in the middle. Not been playing great, but he's fit, and that's the main thing. And then up front, the first choice 2 are reunited. Wills and Kranic have basically been rotating for the most part this winter. Today and at the weekend, hopefully, they'll be up there together for the big ones. We've got a fully fit Ivanov, Takatsuka, Vasquez, Baranda O'Day on the bench, and then a few if we need them, such as Bernberg. Not sure what Ashley Carr's going to do, but he's there if we want him. And if not, we'll go for Casey Worcester. I was just going to see if that young right back on the bench, if he's fit. I think he'd actually be better to have there than Worcester. We certainly look more like we're going to need a fullback. So he's going to go on the bench. And that's going to be our last replacement. Bring through the youth, give opportunities. Let's go and get into it. Southend v Spurs and a chance to pull clear in a title race. Well, just one change for our visitors as they replace one player we've tried to sign in the past with another. Lee Marshall is an England international centre half and left back who is not good enough for their 11 now. Acuna comes in, one of those centre halves who's not great in the air. Joe Wills, take note, go and get up against him. On the bench, they've also got Lucas Daniel, who is a substitute there, having failed with us several years ago. And he's not broken into their team either. So let's go and get through to this. We're going to pump the fist. We're going to ask the boys to prove a point. A few nerves around, which is a little bit of a concern. But as we go into the first half, I'm feeling confident. So let's see if we can keep the unbeaten run going. We're winning games even when we're not playing well at the moment. It's a lovely habit to have. But you know when you're not playing well, it only takes one day. One set of circumstances to go wrong. And you could have a day where maybe you're not going to pick up the result. Especially when you get an early injury like that, because Dion Kranic has got a tight hamstring there. I cannot risk it, and I can't bring on Ashley Carr for 75 minutes. So Teddy Ivanov, the old regular, is going to come back in. He's been in good scoring form when he has played this year. Hopefully today he'll deliver the same again. 20 minutes on the clock, no shots on target, and not a great performance in truth. Bit worried about Jimenez in the middle. Not sure what's happened to his morale. Not any unhappiness that I know of, not any problems. He really seems to be struggling a bit. So that could be an area where Bernberg has to come on in the second half. But as we go through the rest of the first, it's been a quiet one. United are drawing, Arsenal are drawing, and so are we. This has been a terrible first half of a football match. But Tottenham won't care if they can get themselves ahead here. As Bongas goes down the right to Van Persie, inside to Passage. Good effort. Oh, it's a great goal. Really is a good goal. And it's why Spurs have got themselves back into that 7 this year, because they've just got 2 strikers who can score goals from anywhere. At half time, we've got work to do. We've still conceded the first goal a lot in recent weeks. And I'm a bit worried about how we're going to deal with this one. The problems in midfield are definitely harming us. Let's get back to that team talk if we can. Go to the individuals, Jimenez and Sanchez. What's wrong with you? Have a bit of faith in yourselves, will you? Will it need to be another late show? It's not been a good first half. We're on the front foot early in a second with De Angelis to Rakowski. I think Bernberg might have to make a half-fit appearance today. Jimenez plays back to Rakowski. De Angelis chips in. Ivanov is up towards Adamson. It's cleared away. Just a shame we've not got a top scorer in there now, as Jimenez is forced out wide. Looks right towards Yocolano. 2 in the middle. Chance to cross from the byline. Teddy Ivanov's there. Who cares if your top scorer's not fit? Because Teddy Ivanov is the old tried and trusted. And you would always back him to pick up with a goal. He pops up at the crucial moments. and he's picked up a goal again today. 1-1, immediately level, and really important in the context of the season, especially here with Arsenal drawing, picking up key injuries, United losing at Everton. A draw might not look a bad result by the end of the day, although they've gone for a long-range effort, Spurs just over the bar. I'm going to think about changes soon because we're not playing that well. Although we've not played that well for most of the last 2 months, as Sanchez finds Memic in the middle, out wide to Yukulano, finds Ivanov on the right. Wills is in the middle if he can find him, but he's going alone. Teddy Ivanov, back to Jimenez. Good first touch, goes from distance. Little bit ambitious, mate. Little optimistic, I'd say. But we've definitely turned the screw coming into this second half. We definitely look the better team now. And with just over 25 to go, I know Rakowski's knackered, but I'm not going to do it. Bernberg will come on for Jimenez. Adamson off for Vasquez. And then Sanchez nervous at centre-half, so we'll just bring O'Day on. I'll make those 3 for now. I've got to look after Yukulano, who's had injuries, and Wills will never do 90. Especially after that injury to Kranjic, we've got to be careful. We'll look to get to the last 15 or so. And then we will make a couple more subs. I'm going to go for Joe Wills off for Ashley Carr. Regret not having Worcester there now, don't we? And what's the other one going to be? Rakowski's knackered, but there's no one who can come on. I'm going to go Takat Zuka for Yukulano. Oh, have I made all the subs because of the injury, haven't I? Not got to worry about that now. Julian Yukulano is going to have to do the whole game. At least we've got 2 other options out there. Let's encourage them. There's 10 to go. Normally I'd go attacking at this point, but I'm looking at the other results and thinking maybe this isn't that bad. I'm going to go for it anyway. You can't let the habits die young. As we're into the 4 minutes added on, it's not made any difference anyway. But with United losing 5-3, with Arsenal drawing 0-0, keeping that unbeaten run going, I actually think it's a pretty good result in the end of the day. Let's see how Liverpool get on in their weekend fixture. Or midweek fixture. Are they playing the day after us? They must be playing Wednesday night. They are playing. They're not playing this midweek. They're just falling another game behind. I don't understand that. I'd certainly take another draw at the weekend though. And that, considering we lost our star striker early on, is a pretty good day for me. No ground loss at the top and a chance to get further away from Liverpool, even with their games in hand when we face them on Saturday. Well, here we go. It's fitness test time, and there's some good news because Robertson, Kivrakidis and Kranjic all in good condition. We got Kranjic off quick enough in midweek. There's also weird offers going in from the director of football, which we're not going to worry about. And we might have got the answer to the problems with Jimenez's morale because it looks like he's subject of an ambitious bid by a Saudi club. And I'm wondering if we get 50 odd million for him. He's a very good performer for me. He's a very solid squad player. I think for 50 million, I could probably get better and certainly someone a bit more physically imposing. So we might have a decision to make later in the window yet. For now, though, let's go and get through to the fixtures. This is going to be a very big day. I did want to mention one other thing as well in relation to centre-halves. You might be wondering why I'm not upgrading like a Parker during this season. If we go to the 2 that we loaned out earlier in the year, we have now got in Soren Hansen the 2nd best rated centre-half at the club. For Sheffield United, he is having a storming year and he's starting to look world class. So he may come back and be a very permanent feature next year. Unfortunately, Peacock's season just been determined by injuries a bit. Only made 8 or 9 appearances. And the young goalkeeper is doing really well at Dundee United. Might be number 2 next season. I might leave him there for 1 more. We'll wait and see. Let's go and get through to the fixtures though. Arsenal v Everton is a game we've got to watch. Just 8 points between us still. We've probably got to keep an eye on City Brentford still as well, as they've got a game in hand. And then, of course, it's us v Liverpool. And if we can get a result at Anfield, they're not going to be catching us either. This is a chance to make things a bit more comfortable. But it's a good Liverpool side. Soberslai is still there of the originals. Players we've tried to sign before like Ferguson. Doku's come through their academy and become a star. And then Marconi's one of the best players in world football. It's not going to be easy. Let's go and get the opposition instructions on. See how many of our 11 is fit. De Angelis is struggling a bit of left back, but I'm going to play him and he can have the Rangers game off. We've got basically just 2 Champions League games in the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to let him have a rest in both of those. This is about getting through it again. A bit like the City one in the last episode, just trying to get the job done. So Bernberg is in for Jimenez. And then if we can, I'd probably like to bring in Kivrakidis as well, but I think I might have to do that one from the bench. So He'll go on for the youngster Ivusic. And we've also got Robertson, who can replace Takatsuka. And we've got Curley, who can be there if need be. But Branda's a little bit more sort of versatile. He can play off both sides and cover centre-half in an emergency. So I don't think I'm going to change much else. The centre mids have got a heavy match load, but what can you do when the rest are injured? This is the 11 that we're going for. Rakowski moves to the box-to-box role. Bernberg is back in to strengthen that midfield. Defensively, no changes despite the slight fatigue for De Angelis, but Branda's there if we need him. And I'm going to stick with the rest of the team. Kranic has made it, Yukulano's made it, and Joe Wills is fairly fit. So into the game we go. At Anfield, anything other than a defeat is a great result here. If we can match Arsenal for the rest of the season, then Liverpool are the only side that can catch us. So if we can get the point here and keep it in our hands, you've got to be pleased with that, haven't you? We've got 9 changes for them. They're definitely going for fitness. Maybe in midweek, obviously didn't feature. They're going to have a little bit more freshness about them. But into the first half we go. Southend United, what have you got up your sleeves? You've got the extra games, you've got the extra work. But have you got the quality to make it count? We'd take a boring 0-0 or 1-1 in this one, wouldn't we? As Meza has got it at the back for Liverpool, who I should admit are one of the few sides that have blown us away a few times in this save. And Jude Sadler has stopped them from doing so very early there. An absolutely stunning save by the goalkeeper. Big left hand to get it wide of the near post. Didn't palm it back to danger either. And he saves the corner header as well because we didn't mark particularly well. And Ferguson had a free one, but it's still 0-0. And Jude Sadler is still the hero with a big kick downfield. Adamson's up, but he doesn't win it. And Doak can go forward, but Bernberg nicks it back. And it's our first chance to counter. But Joe Will's touch is a little heavy. And Adamson can't get on the end of it, but he is still closing down. He's out of position though, and it's left Doak 1-on-1. Here he goes down the right, looking for Emery. Cuts inside. Good challenge, Bernberg. He looks fresh, but Soberslai. Cracking effort first time. Sadler down to his left, tips it wide. Brilliant goalkeeping. Where's the Anfield crowd? There's loads of empty seats there. Don't understand what's happening. Herbert's up. Bernberg's up. Rakowski's up. We get it away in the end. Head tennis in our penalty area. An exciting 7 minutes. Liverpool have had more of it, but it's 0-0, and that's all that matters. Well, corner kick to Liverpool, just over a quarter of an hour gone. And for the third time, we've gifted a free header at a set piece. I mean, the reason I wanted to sign Ferguson all those years ago at Hibs is because not only is he a good right back, but he's got 18 jumping reach. He's 6'3". He's got that extra height that we don't have. And you know what I'm like with a tall team. It's such a big advantage. And while Jude Sadler has been by far the best player on the pitch, even he can't keep that one out. And unfortunately, it looks like Memic may have been at fault. You can see from the stats, this is Liverpool domination. And while Kranic, we took him off early, the rest seemed to work. He's now picked up another one. I'm going to have to go Ivanov over Carr because he's actually scoring goals. But this is not a good time of the season to lose your star striker. If we lose this game and if we lose Kranic for a while, it might just bring the chasing pack back towards us. We didn't think a first ever title defence was going to be easy, did we? Soberside to Smith. It's cleared away. Not far enough though. Across the box, Memic takes it off the keeper. Lack of communication, but it's clear for now. Only to the edge of the box though. And Soberslai has scored an absolute rocket. Liverpool can do this to us. They're one of the few teams that can. And at the moment, that extra game in midweek seems to have cost us, doesn't it? Because we can't compete. We're all over the place. And Liverpool, the dominant team. At half-time, it's 2-0 at Anfield. And this is a score you do not often come back from. Let's get through the dressing room. Let's ask them to prove a point. I just want a reaction. But I've got to bear in mind, Liverpool have had a week off and rested players for that game. For us, it's the first team that have been playing every 3 or 4 days. And while we've rested as well as we can, it's always going to catch up eventually. And when you haven't got that superstar goal scorer up front because he keeps getting injured in the first half of each match, you've not got as much of a chance of scoring, have you? And we saw it in the recent games. We've relied on clean sheets to get wins. We've not been hammering goals in left, right and centre. Probably only the Newcastle game a couple of episodes ago we did that. And maybe the Chelsea game last one. But we're not often scoring 3s and 4s. It's been 1s and 2s a lot of the time. There's Rakowski, that's poor. There's no one there. Zé Emery brings it forward. We might have to think about resting people here. Because I think this game's gone. I think we need to get people fit. Yes, they can have a couple of weeks off now from Premier League football. But as Buckley goes into Marconi, this risk getting ugly. Not sure if it was offside, but I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm going to bring Robertson on for Ukulano. I'm going to bring Baranda on for Memic. Could I even put Herbert out at left back? Or what I could do, actually. Let's go Baranda at left back, Rakowski at right back, and then in midfield, we'll bring on Jimenez. That'll be 4 for now. And then I'll probably do Wills or Bernberg a bit later. Probably Wills because he's played more minutes. Let's see if this goal counts. If it's 3, it's game over for sure. But it's not. The goal's disallowed. It remains 2. And there's a brief little glimmer of hope, as there always is with us, with the late show on the way. But I don't see where we score 2 today, because the only sub I've got is Ashley Carr for Wills. And that does not improve our goal threat this season. As Quero goes back to Ferguson. I mean, the bigger mission is probably, can we get out the Liverpool half? Because that has been a problem for most of the game. They've been just penned in and we can't get out. Rakowski's now knackered. Do I take him off at right back instead? Szoboszlai in the middle. Ivanov nicks it. Let's see if we can get a goal here. Robertson into Jimenez. Forward to Wills. Ivanov's through the middle, but Wills is forced back. They're pressing us so quickly in midfield. Sanchez out to Rakowski. Support from Sanchez again. Just playing it along the back, but Liverpool know where they can let us have it. As Branda finds Adamson, this is the chance to break on. One-on-one. Adamson to the byline. Great ball in, and a super header from Teddy Ivanov. He's still a big goal threat for us. Forget the Ashley Carr quality. Teddy Ivanov is up. It is 2-1. And we're briefly back in the game, but it's a Liverpool free kick. Sadler does well with it. Can we now get on the counter? And who else on earth can we bring on at right back? Because Rakowski is really struggling. As Emery gets the ball to Szoboszlai. Forward down the left to Marconi. And he is their best player. He's playing against a fatigued utility right back. Pokes up. Herbert wins it. It's back over the bar. And Joe Wills is knackered too. I've not got really an option at right back other than to move Herbert to the left, which doesn't work for me. So I'm going to have to do it as much as I don't want to. Ashley Carr is going to come on for Joe Wills. We're going to put Ivanov target forward. Ashley Carr through the middle. I mean, the scene's set. He's finally got a perfect chance to be a hero. Ashley Carr, show us what you've got. Can you score a goal when it actually matters? Azar Emery. Shot goes to Sadler, who saves again. Still been our best player despite conceding 2. We just need to create something now. There's still half an hour to go. And I'm worried about that Kranjic injury again as Ferguson wins the header. Herbert's better in the air than him. Can he just go and mark him? Get the job done. Very frustrating. Thankfully for us, Ferguson has just gone off now. That is about the best thing we could have wished for. But it's followed, of course, by that little tantalising push the other way. The FM dodgy penalty has arrived. It didn't look in the box to me. And it's not. It's a free kick. Chris Kavanagh tried his best. But he can't cost us the game this time. It's a free kick on the edge of the box for Szoboszlai though. And we've still been poor from these set pieces. Robertson this time does deal with it though. And a dominant Liverpool display is not leading to a dominant scoreline. That's the only positive. We're still in this match, remarkably, despite being battered from first minute to 70th so far. We've got a chance to break down the right with Robertson now, though. Carr could turn provider. Might suit him better. In towards Ivanov. It's 2-2. They don't know how to lose a football match. It is the best thing about this team. We've been awful today. We've been outclassed. Look at the stats. 18 shots to 6, 10 on target to 2, 12 corners to 4 and less possession. But we're finding a way and we might get a winner. Adamson up to Herbert is headed away. Now we've got to be wary of the counter-attack. Marconi. Who on earth is back? Why have they got so many forward? No one was back from the corner. Smith goes in. Not like this. Great save from Sadler. I need to go and see what's going on. Back in a moment. The corner was set up perfectly. I have no idea why there weren't 2 players back. But still, Marconi has got a free kick, or a corner, sorry, for Liverpool. And a chance to put them back in front. But Herbert is now dealing with it. Szoboszlai back into Marconi. Robertson in. Good challenge. Another corner. Don't throw it away now. You've worked so hard to get back into this. And these are the sorts of games, aren't they? Where you just think, yeah, we've got a chance of being champions now. Because to play this poorly, if we could nick a draw, would be ridiculous. Though Aslan's in. It's off the line by Baranda. Brilliant defending. It's all happening for us now. This is without doubt the biggest pasting we've taken all year. Did you see that? Arsenal have just equalised late on against Everton. If it stays as it is, we wouldn't lose ground to anyone. But we know Soboslai's capable of scoring here. Oh, we've been done by the quick free kick. Marconi puts it wide. It's a sitter, really. This could be a very good day. If all three teams draw, and if we nick a 2-2 draw from this performance, it's a sign that we're going to be champions for me. Because look at those stats. They're horrific. And I don't mean to do this while we're drawing. I haven't done it for a long time when we're not winning a match. I'm going to time waste my backside off here. I am very happy with a point. Joaquin Jimenez, centre mid on defend. Let's just get the job done here. We're going to time waste all the time. We'll play for set pieces where we're a threat. We're going to go a little bit more cautious. We're going to slow the pace down. And we're going to drop that line of engagement. Give ourselves more space to counter-attack into. But really, just protect the defence a bit more. Because from 2-0 down, Southend United have drawn 2-2 at Liverpool. We were absolutely battered from start to finish. But we scored our only 2 shots on target. We nicked a draw. And I say it again, this team refuses to lose. And despite all of my frustrations this year, it is the one thing I absolutely love about them. An assist for Ashley Carr, a nice moment for him. But Teddy Ivanov, the old hero again. We've done so brilliantly to salvage a point there. Now let's see if we finish on bad news or not. How bad is that Dejan Kranic injury going to be? Our top scorer? We're going to be without him for a while. Well, Arsenal are held by Everton, so we stay 8 clear of them, and our tactical decisions have kept us 10 clear of Liverpool. I've got my head coach t-shirt on specially for it as well. This is the injury item we're waiting for though. Dejan Kranic. How is it going to be? 4 weeks. I saw twisted ankle. I wasn't too alarmed. So if you look at the 2 Champions League games he's going to miss, we can probably cope with that. Yes, it'll probably cost us in the FA Cup, but we should beat Leeds and Forest. And then hopefully he's back for United in the next episode, which would be the ideal moment, wouldn't it? So let's go and have a look at when we are next going to be back. I think that is going to be the one. I'm looking at the rest of the season. We should be top 8 in the Champions League. I'd expect our reserve side to get a point off Rangers. And that would mean that we're not in Champions League action till March. So for now, we can focus on a title race. And we saw it today. Liverpool, one of the 2 sides that realistically could catch us. Arsenal are the other. So we're going to come back. We'll forget the FA Cup game. We'll rest people for that. We're going to go Arsenal and United at the end of February in the Premier League. United have been our closest title rivals, both the year they pipped us and the year we pipped them. But in our title defence, it is Arsenal who are chasing. But both of us are slipping up at the moment. The good news is we keep our unbeaten run going. Teddy Ivanov has scored all of our last 5 goals. The old boy is still living up to expectation and delivering the big moments when it matters most. If you enjoyed it, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you thought of that fight back against Liverpool. How on earth did we get a point out of the game? I just don't know. If you want to stay up to date and see if the title defence continues well, whether we can progress in Champions League and FA Cup too, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back with this one on Tuesday, as well as a big summer transfer window from our Director of Football on Monday in our alternate head coach story, The Coach's Head. Willem 2 going to be plenty of fun next year, I'm sure. But in the meantime, we have started our Euros watch-alongs on Twitch. The first one was today. We're watching a game each day. We're having a bit of fun, chat, football quizzes and games as well. You can come over and join them, as we'll be back again tomorrow with both an FM stream and a football watch-along there. And we've also got the football podcast up in the eye above too, for special interviews during the summer, manager specials from the Championship, and plenty of predictions to come ahead of the new season. Thank you very much for watching though. Your support has been massively appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time for 2 more big games in the Premier League title race.